Hello and welcome to IPL Fantasy Chit Chat, and today we're going to talk about match number 33, which will be played in Dubai between Rajasthan Royals and Royal Challengers Bangalore. The round one of IPL 2020 between these two sides was won by RCB. They won by 8 wickets last time around. Rajasthan Royals lost to Delhi Capitals by 13 runs and Royal Challengers Bangalore lost to Kings 11 Punjab by 8 wickets. So both teams have lost their previous matches. They'll be looking for a winning turnaround. Rajasthan Royals in the lower half of the table, Royal Challengers Bangalore somewhere in the middle of the table. And both of them looking to push on, looking to move on because other teams might just start catching up. Let's take a look at what Rajasthan Royals might be doing for this particular matchup. It's an interesting one because there's a lot of speculation on social media, on Twitter, that Steve Smith might not be captain for this particular game. It could go on to Joss Buttler at the top of the order. It'll be interesting because, out of form overseas captain, it really has a tough bearing on any IPL franchisee. And if Steve Smith does sit out and it's Joss Buttler who does, lead the side in this particular matchup. So David Miller could come in ahead of Steve Smith, and then Sanju Samson goes at number 3 and David Miller lower down the order, and then you retain your opening pairing of Buttler and Stokes, and in the middle you have Robin Uthappa, Riyan Parag and Rahul Tewatia. Not sure if they'll continue with Uthappa. They might bring in Lomror because Uthappa hasn't really shown the form you would expect of him, and lower down the order their bowling has looked good. So they really need to bring up the goods with the batting, Rajasthan Royals. But again, it'll be very, very interesting to see. Everybody will be waiting who comes out for the toss for Rajasthan Royals on this particular day. Talking about RCB, well, they didn't do too many different things, except they changed the batting order completely. AB de Villiers, since when do you need to protect AB de Villiers? Yes, maybe leg spin, he's gotten out a few times, maybe off some. I just don't understand. AB de Villiers, how do you protect a batsman like AB de Villiers? If he's scoring 73 of 33 balls at Sharjah, I want him to face 50, 60 balls because then he'll be scoring 100, 120, and that's always beneficial for the team. So that's the huge mistake that RCB made. Hopefully they'll rectify it. Hopefully AB de Villiers will bat at number 4 and will go bang, 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 bang. And you know what? Rajasthan Royals really need to be careful because it might be AB de Villiers leaving out some steam in this particular match. The one other thing that we can think of is, maybe in this part of the tournament, in this stage of the tournament, the pitches are starting to get slower and slower and we might see a bit more spin. So Adam Zampa might come back in, or even Moeen Ali. But right now, I don't think they would like to drop Chris Morris. Isuru Udana, they might just think of bringing in Zampa or Moeen Ali for him. Talking about a combined fantasy 11 for this particular matchup. Well, it's a tricky one because you have Devdutt Padikkal and you need to balance it with a low-priced Indian batsman. That's maybe Riyan Parag. Then Joss Buttler, Ben Stokes, Virat Kohli, AB de Villiers, Sanju Samson. They are all in there, right in there. Then Aaron Finch and Steve Smith if you want that extra batsman, or David Miller as the case might be. Or if you want an extra all-rounder, then you have Rahul Tewatia. Chris Morris, if he plays, he is in there. If Moeen Ali plays, he might be in the reckoning as well. And then comes your bowling option. Yuzvendra Chahal and Jofra Archer are nailed on in this selection, and your final toss-up for the bowling might be between Kartik Tyagi and Navdeep Saini, or even Shreyas Gopal. Obviously, these names will come into consideration if you need to leave out either Chahal or Archer because you have picked up so many high-profile batsmen up top that you need to balance it out with somebody who's spending lower points from your wallet. But otherwise, it's going to be a very, very batting-heavy side, and hopefully, AB de Villiers, you're able to get good points for AB de Villiers because you lose out in fantasy. Virat Kohli has to understand you lose out, or RCB have to understand you lose out on points if AB de Villiers bats lower down the order. So somebody needs to wake them up and say, oh, you know what, for the sake of our fantasy team, we need AB de Villiers batting up top.